Have you ever looked out at your backyard and felt like it was, well, a bit of a blank canvas? Or maybe it's a bit of a mess and you have no idea where to start. We all want that magazine-worthy outdoor space, but hiring a professional landscaping company can cost a small fortune.
Y-
Right. Let's break down how you can reclaim your yard without breaking the bank. Because the biggest mistake people make, and we all do it, is buying plants before they have a plan.
Oh, it's the absolute biggest mistake a beginner can make.
Mhm.
But Wall says you have to start with the land itself. He suggests starting with a simple notebook and drawing a map of your yard to scale.
Which sounds like homework, but it's so important. You need to mark down the permanent structures, your house, your driveway, even that old tool shed in the corner.
You have to take notes on the environmental conditions.
Right, like where the sun hits.
Yes, track the sunlight, map out any steep slopes. And you really need to identify areas where water naturally pools after a rainstorm.
That is so crucial. By mapping these out, you avoid the snags later, like putting a sun-loving flower in a permanent shadow or building a patio where the ground naturally shifts.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, mapping prevents disastrous, expensive mistakes. You're learning the physics of your yard before you fight against them.
I mean, building a yard without a map is like going grocery shopping hungry and without a list.
That is a perfect way to put it. And once you have that map, you can actually start designing, which brings us to the layout itself.
Right. Landscaping is basically a mix of two things: hardscapes and botanicals. Hardscapes are the bones of your yard, your walkways, walls, and patios. If hardscapes are the bones of the yard, are botanicals basically the wardrobe we dress it in?
Yes, the botanicals are the living elements, the trees, the shrubs, the flowers. The key here is choosing native plants.
Which feels a little counterintuitive because everyone wants those crazy exotic plants from the garden center.
Right. But what's fascinating here is that native plants are just so much easier to care for. They naturally resist local struggles because they evolved to live exactly where you are.
So they thrive in your specific climate.
Exactly. They have deeper root systems, they need less watering, and they protect your local ecosystem.
And walls even covers regional hardiness zones, right? Speaking of wasting money, let's get real about the budget. DIY landscaping is inherently cheaper than hiring pros, but materials still add up quickly. So the book recommends creating a slush fund for each project.
Yes, a buffer budget,
Yeah.
because beginners universally underestimate volume.
I love the idea of scavenging for free pavers, but let's be honest, who hasn't confidently bought 3 bags of mulch only to realize they actually needed 30?
Our brains just aren't good at visualizing cubic volume.
That slush fund is an absolute lifesaver.